Hello, good evening, everyone.
Can you
Uh,
make me host as well so that I can share my presentation slide? I have a short presentation for you all.
it's very nice.
If if you
But
click on me,
mhm. Okay,
it
then
will allow you to make me host.
yes, why not?
Okay. I can see share option actually already. It's fine.
Mm, Okay. Um, Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Morshada. Already, many of you know about me. I am here working as in Bangladesh as a professor of pediatrics, as well as I am mentor in Akhtar's MRCPCH helpline. Today, I am here to introduce my teacher actually, who always inspired me towards the pathway of MRCPCH, or you can say that he's my role model during this pathway. Whenever I required any guidance, always Dr. Arjun was there. So I'm introducing Dr. Arjun, who is now working in um, uh, so Dr. Arjun is working as a consultant in the NHS Foundation Trust in the UK, and he completed MD long before in Bangladesh and worked as in Bangladesh University Hospital, and from there he working in a different international hospital, and then also completed MRCPCH. After that, he become consultant in the NHS UK. So it was my privilege to introduce him, and we are here to actually to know about the MRCPCH pathway. So, sir, I want to say that here you have many students other than me, those who worked with in Bangladesh even. So you know that I am seeing that many of them are here eagerly waiting to know from you. So we have some agenda. Before that, I want to say that can you please tell me how you are feeling today?
Yes, I'm feeling very good. Are you asking me?
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah, thank you
how
very
you are
much.
feeling with this gathering? So many of here, you maybe could not understand that those who are your uh, ex-students, but many of your ex-students is here, and
Yeah.
so all of them are completed. Many of them completed MRCPCH, but you can say that most of your here are already on the pathway of MRCPCH. So many of them wanted to pursue their career in the NHS. So can you please tell me about this pathway? I mean, first you introduce yourself if you want to say anything more, and then please share your journey.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mosheda, for nice introduction. Of course, I'm obviously very excited. Someone asked whether this session is going to be in English or not. So I can assure you this is going to be in English, even though most of the participants are from Bangladesh, and there are a few probably from other countries. So we have full respect to you all. We will try to make the interaction in English as much as possible. It will be predominantly in English. If someone has got any question in Bengali and in local language, we will try to address that as well, but it's going to be in English. Thank you very much. So it is really exciting for me. I've been waiting for this, even though I was quite busy for last couple of weeks, but I was really waiting for this opportunity to see some of my ex-students, colleagues who I worked in Bangladesh for long time. It is no doubt a great opportunity for me to share experience and the way I came up to UK from Bangladesh after traveling a few countries, working in some places. Today, I'm going to talk about how can we come to the UK to work with NHS. Before that, as you asked about my journey, I worked in Bangladesh government service for about 11 years. And then I worked in Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University for about 7 years. So altogether 18 years experience in Bangladesh in predominantly in pediatrics and about 6 years, 7, 8 years in neonatology. And my last position in Bangladesh was associate professor. And after that, I left the country. I went for my neonatal fellowship in University of Toronto. And before that, I had another neonatal fellowship in Singapore. And then I worked in the Middle East also for about 6.5 years as a consultant in a level 3 neonatal ICU in a university hospital. And after that, it's relatively recent destination for me to come to UK. I began my journey with NHS as a locum consultant, and recently I have become a permanent consultant after completing my Caesar process. So that's all about me. I've done my FCPS in pediatrics back in 2002. I did my MD in neonatology in 2008, and then MRCPCH very recently, like few years, when I decided to come to UK. It's not very old, so I actually didn't need MRCPCH unless I decided to come to the UK. That's all about me. I will quickly go and start my presentation. I've made a short presentation for you all just as a beginning, and then you all can ask questions. You can write in the chat box. You can raise your hand. You can ask verbally. Feel free to ask any questions. No questions are silly questions, so feel free to ask. Okay, because if you have doubt, if you have you don't know answer, I'm here to answer my question, your questions. Okay, I will try my best to help and guide you. Okay, there are a few more people are waiting to join. I think Moshada, you can have keep an eye on that. Is that okay?
You have to, if you are host, then you have to accept.
Do I need to do this? Okay, sure.
And sir, please check that
Okay.
recording is ongoing or not, because whenever I was in host, then I started, but I'm not sure. Is it ongoing?
Okay. Okay, it is on. I think you can change. I don't know whether it is going to interrupt my slide sharing, or
Sir,
you
it
can change
will
host to yourself. Let's try how it works, and then if not, I will let you know. Because my presentation is ready. Can you see my slide?
Yes. So it is actually, see that slide is not showing because I
Okay, so it's for the
came.
host only. Okay, so
Yes, yes.
admit the other people, and then you share my
Yeah. So can you?
make me host.
Okay. So I admit, because it will be continuous process. You know,
I
if
think I can do that. I can do that. No problem.
you can
I
do
can
that.
admit them
Okay.
also. I can
Okay. So
admit them.
again,
No
I'm
problem.
making you host.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, done. Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. So making you again host. I don't know. Yeah, it's done.
Okay. I'm the host now.
Yes. And now share.
Okay. Can you see
Mhm.
my slides? Can everyone? I know Moshida can see, but any of you can tell me, help me by responding whether you can see my slides.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. We can
Walaikum
see your
salam.
slide, Major Aziz.
Oh. Aziz.
Sir,
Okay, okay. How are you? You
I am
okay?
fine, sir. I am fine,
Okay,
sir.
okay,
Thank you.
very good. Nice to hear from you. Okay,
Thank you,
we
sir.
will talk later, but let me begin. So I have prepared this slide for you this morning, actually, very late. So I've given this title, Career Prospect with National Health Services, United Kingdom.
It's working, sir.
Okay, it is working. Good. So I have nothing to declare. There is no conflict of interest in my presentation. I'm sharing my information from practical work experience with NHS. Okay, so there is no particular reference, nothing, just a few slides from here and there I borrowed, but otherwise all my own experience-based product. Congratulations to you all whoever completed MRCPCH clinical part 1, part 2, And good luck for the prospective candidates who are planning to write your exams anytime soon, whatever other component of MRCPCH, and maybe even PLAB also by some of you. But so you completed the degree, that's not done. I would say that is basically beginning of something. Okay, so there is still some way to go, and we are going to discuss about that. Little bit about NHS. It is publicly funded healthcare system in England, and of course the other areas, other countries of United Kingdom. And this is one of the largest healthcare systems in the world, actually, basically the second largest after Brazil. And it was formed in 1948, so it's about 77 years old. More than 1 million staff are working with NHS. So our focus today will be in pediatrics. Obviously, being a neonatologist and pediatrician, I cannot comment on any other disciplines. So our presentation and our discussion is going to be focused on pediatrics rather than anything else. What do we need? What we need to start working in NHS. So first and foremost, the most important thing, essential and mandatory, is getting registration with General Medical Council UK. And there is no alternative route. Why I wrote this? I often get this question from some of my ex-colleagues that I have heard there is an alternative route without MRCPCH, without this, without that, without GMC registration. Also, there is a scope of coming to UK to work for a temporary period of time, say 6 months, 12 months. That is not correct. Okay, so if you want to come to UK, you need to get registered with GMC. There is no other alternative, no other shortcut. You may give example, but if someone came here without GMC registration, probably they came as an observer, not hands-on. And those are basically unpaid positions. So you have to come on your own expenses, and you will not be allowed to handle the patients. You will not be allowed to do any hands-on procedure on the patients. Okay. And then when GMC registration is mandatory, what are the requirements for GMC? So of course, if someone is trained and graduated inside United Kingdom or any of the UK recognized institute, that for them, it will be different. But for people like us who are studying and getting trained outside the UK, for us, MRCPCH is one of the requirements. You can choose this. You can choose to complete PLAB 1 and PLAB 2. Half done is not okay. Half done is not going to help. And there is an alternative route as well, MTI, which is called Medical Training Initiative. This is slightly different than MRCPCH and PLAB 1 and 2. MTI is basically offered by some institutes here like Oxford, Cambridge, those places. They offer some candidates from other countries for a very particular period of time, say 2 years, typically. Okay, so you have to complete your training, and then it is expected that you will go back to your country. Okay, and visa they offer is also different than the other two routes. Okay, it will be a very fixed term visa, and usually it is not extendable. Nowadays people are getting extension by some measures, but that's not something guaranteed. Okay, you cannot expect that to happen always. Okay, so once you obtain one of these requirements, then of course you need to have your English language competency proof in the form of IELTS and OET or OET, anyone. I reckon probably OET may be slightly better because or convenient for you all as medical professional. IELTS actually is more of general English literature or Shakespeare type English, right? So may be found slightly difficult because you need to clear all the components with uniform score, not like, for 6 in one and 8 in other one. So that is a little bit tough, but OET may be a little expensive, but it is more convenient for the medical personnel. Unfortunately, there is no equivalence or recognition of post-graduation we do back home. I'm talking about Bangladesh. I cannot comment about other countries much, but probably it applies to most of the countries as well. Okay. And there is a degree here in the UK. If you visit your RCPCH account, you will see DCH. So DCH in UK, it is also not helpful. It is not going to help you to get GMC registration. So DCH in the UK is basically pursued by the general practitioners who have special interest in pediatrics. So DCH is not going to add anything to your credential or in the eligibility of GMC registration. I hope this is clear to you all. You guys can note down your question if you have any. We will have question answer session later, but if you want to write your question in the chat box, you can do that as well. So what kind of registration GMC offers? Okay, so there are a few types like GP registration, general practitioner registration, and specialist registration. These two are actually, I would say, mainstream registration, but GP is not like GP in our country. Here, GP has to go through a particular training, a particular frame of training. It's about 3 years training, and then they will get GP registration. And the other one is specialist registration, means the doctor who wants to become a consultant in a particular field, say pediatrics, medicine, surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, whatever. Okay, so GP registration and specialist registration. Unfortunately, none of these registration can be requested for by people like you. Okay, regardless you complete your MRCPCH or you complete your PLAB 2. Okay, so you will not be considered for any of these registrations. Then what kind of registration you can request for? The third one is most likely you are going to be eligible once you fulfill the requirement. So registration with license to practice. So that is the one you can actually think of, you can target. And then the last one is, of course, if you get any a special offer from any of the hospitals through MTI. For MTI also, by the way, you need to have an offer. You need to apply for GMC registration. But before that, you need your English language proof as well in the form of IELTS or MTI. Oh, sorry, OET. Okay, so you are basically looking for the registration, which is called registration with license to practice. So this is like an open type of registration. You can be fit in any position, starting from SHO, then middle grade doctor, specialty doctor. They can even offer you as a consultant as well, depending on your background, experience, and credentials. Okay, so it doesn't say you are a GP, it doesn't say you are a specialist, but the place or trust or hospital you are applying for the job, they will decide, or before you apply, you will think what kind of position you are eligible. You think you are eligible, then you will apply. And if they think your CV meets with the requirement, they will shortlist and they will offer you interview, invite you for interview, and then they will decide whether you are eligible for that position or not. Okay, so it's like an open registration which can be fitted with any sort of position, and temporary registration for MTIs. One big difference with MTI and registration with license to practice is, listen carefully, That is, if you are coming to the UK and if you have a long-term plan of applying for citizenship, this MTI work experience is not going to be considered for that. MTI is not going to help to get your permanent immigration status in the UK. So, but registration with license to practice will be very useful for that. You know, after you work for 5 years, you will be eligible to get a British passport. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, observer attachment does not need to be registered. So if you are coming as an observer, regardless how long it is for, say 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, few weeks, you don't need to apply for registration. You don't need to fulfill the English language requirement. Okay, so this may not be very relevant for you all. This is how the pediatric training pathway looks like in the UK with NHS. You can see the specialty training comprises 7 years, ST1, ST2, ST3, up to ST7. Okay, so whoever is selected for the ST position through a very highly competitive interview process, they will start ST1 and then they will gradually proceed up to ST7, and for neonate it is actually up to ST8. Okay, and you can see ST1 is tier 1, ST2 and 3 is transition between tier 1 and 2 doctor in the unit wherever you work, and ST4, sorry, is someone talking to me or someone? No. Okay.
Mute if anyone having, they are talking by.
Okay, can you please mute you guys? Okay, I'm admitting all. I think there are some more people waiting. So this is the training pathway. ST4 is actually is kind of a transition, is a proper tier 2 position, and up ST1 to ST4 is core training in pediatrics, and after that, after successful completion of ST4, a trainee proceeds to ST5, ST6, and ST7. One important thing, if you notice at the bottom line, see MRCPCH theory is expected to be completed by the end of ST3, and clinical MRCPCH is expected to finish by ST4, by the finish of ST4. So you completed MRCPCH and then you will proceed to the specialty training position ST5, ST6, and ST7. And here during ST7 and ST6, you can choose if you want to be any subspecialized pediatrician. There are about 17 subspecialty in pediatrics, say allergy and immunology, neonatology, nephrology, hemato-oncology. Okay, so there are sorry, about 17 of them you will choose according to your career plan. And if you don't want to be do any subspecialization, you can continue as general pediatrics as well. Okay, so
I have some questions here. So should I ask you now or later?
I think better I finish this and then you can ask. No problem. Okay. I can come back to slides as well. Okay.
No problem. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, so this is about the training pathway. And once you complete ST7 or ST8 in neonate, you will become a consultant. You don't need to wait for, like, you know, I have completed my MD, FCPS, this thing, that thing, why I should still work as a medical officer. You do not need to have that sort of frustration in these countries. Okay, so you will become a consultant automatically. Of course, there is some formal interview process, but that is more of a formality rather than anything else. Okay, so that's about the training pathway. My slides are not moving. Moshida, anything happened? Okay, I think
it's moved, sir.
Sorry,
it's moved. You see,
I know, but it's not moving further.
It's not me.
Let me try.
Okay, so
let me try this.
You can close and then again open.
It is not moving at all. Okay, it is moving now. Good. Okay, did I cover the slides? I did. Okay, so I think, okay, so I mentioned already core training is ST1 to ST4, specialty training ST5 to ST7 and ST8. And most people, sometimes they even select for ST3 also based on previous experience. So if someone was trained, for example, in Bangladesh or Egypt or India, anywhere, and came to work with NHS and worked for a couple of years, they can actually apply for ST3, even ST4 also. So ST3, ST4 can be the starting point for some of the overseas doctor. Sometimes they select some overseas doctor for the training position. But starting as ST1 formally for the overseas doctor usually does not happen. Okay, so what kind of positions may be suitable for the overseas doctors? It is again misbehaving. Okay, so there are positions available, different types, junior positions, say SHO, junior clinical fellow, and then middle grades, senior clinical fellow, and specialty doctor, and senior grades as well. We call them fixed term consultant or locum consultant. I worked as fixed term consultant for the whole period of my NHS experience. Okay, and fixed term consultant, they get salary and everything as if they are permanent consultant. So there is some administrative difference only. And MTI fellows, everything will be as per their contract. It is quite variable. Can we mute everyone?
Sir, the right button, you can just click mute everyone.
Yeah. So a recent trend, what I observed in the recent time, because I'm actually in touch with some doctors from my home country. I was trying for job for some of my ex-students of my ex-colleagues. I have seen it has become highly competitive nowadays. I have heard for one position there are maybe 200 applications. Okay, so this has become really very, very competitive, which was not the case about a few years ago. Okay, so this is important for you to know. And there is very, very obviously there will be high rejection rate at the first screening, and long listing is done basically by HR, because they just go by the checklist of the requirements, and they reject maybe more than 50% of the candidates if there are too many. And high rejection rate at shortlisting. Usually the shortlisting is done by the clinical lead or the consultant responsible, and they do a scoring. They have a scoring system. They go by the job description, they go by the person specification, and with that scoring, many candidates actually do not manage to get into the shortlist. Okay. And once you get shortlisted, you really need to prepare very well for the interview. You cannot take it casually. There are very structured interview process. There are very typical questions of some very important and burning areas related to NHS. So once you get shortlisted, don't think you are about to get the job. Okay, it's basically half done or maybe less than that. Okay, so you need to prepare very, very well for interview. Okay, so there are challenges. Once you come to the UK, before that, it is very, very important you make your decision boldly, confidently. Okay, it's not about, okay, I finished my degree, now it's time for me to go to UK. It's a big change for yourself, for your family, right? So you really need to be very robust in your decision making. And then for that, you of course need a strong mindset. Half-hearted, better you stay home. Half-hearted, better you don't try all these hassles, and then after you are eligible, you become eligible, you decide not to come. So that's not good thing, wastage of time. you are not going to live 500 years, right? So why do you want to waste, like, so long time for this nothing, right? You need to have fair command in English. I would like to say here that clearing IELTS or clearing OET doesn't mean you are very good in English. Actually, you don't need to be excellent in English, but you need to be workable. You need to continue speaking at your workplace. Okay, you need to adjust nicely in a English in a speaking environment. Okay, so you need to have, if not very good, but fair command in terms of listening, speaking, reading, and writing English. Okay, it's a different culture, and of course different lifestyle. British lifestyle, they dominated the world for many years, right? So it's not very difficult to get some idea about the culture and lifestyle. If you browse YouTube, you will get thousands of videos, right? So but if you are not mindful about this, you are going to struggle at the beginning here to adjust. Okay, one more thing, financially not the most attractive place anymore. Okay, I know many of you are very established pediatrician, neonatologist, or subspecialist in pediatrics back home in your home country. If you are looking for earning money, I don't think UK is the best country. It's a salary structure is good, but there is very high tax. So take home salary is, I would say, is actually very modest. Okay, so if you need to think about this particular point as well. Well, there can be challenges. There are solutions as well. I'm sure you can do it. Fingers crossed. Okay, together we can really reach our target and achieve our goals. I think that's all about my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here for another sometime, no problem at all.
So
Over to you now.
I have some questions, but before that, if anyone having any questions, I want
Yes,
to give
please.
priority of others.
Please.
I have a question. If you don't mind, I can ask. Can I ask?
Yeah, before, when you ask question, can I have your name, please, if you don't mind?
Yeah, this is Ella here. And
Okay.
I want to ask a question. Sorry, I joined in the mid of the presentation,
No
so I'm
problem.
not sure. So I didn't get that from the beginning.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I want to know that, for example, if we complete the MRCPCH, right?
Yeah.
And then after clinical exam, or we first we need to get to the MRCP, GMC registration, and then we can apply for the post. Is that right?
Yes. So you complete MRCPCH exam, you write your English language test, and
Right.
then you apply for GMC registration. That is very straightforward. You should get it in a few weeks' time.
Okay. So last question, I want to know that,
Yeah.
are you a recruiter? Are you associated with any company who recruits, or just
Absolutely
it's a
no.
no?
I'm just
It's
working as
just
a
a
consultant.
representation.
Morshida
Okay.
is my student. She requested me to give her group an idea. So I'm here to just share my experiences. Okay, I'm not in the recruitment process because that is completely done by a different department, which is called Human Resources, HR. Okay,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
none of my other colleagues are involved in that. They are invited for interview only, nothing else.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your reply and detailed explanation. I truly appreciate it. Many
No
thanks.
problem at all. Thank you for your question.
Here, one of our colleagues, Dr. Deepika De, asked one question. So I'm just putting you one by one questions from
Absolutely.
ST4 to ST7. What is the fixed time requirement? Is it fixed?
Yeah. So it's a very good question. I'm the very appropriate person to answer this question because I was a fixed term consultant. So fixed term consultant or locum consultant, they typically offer you for 1 year, but it is extendable. They extend up to 2 years. They normally do not extend for more than 2 years, but in exceptional situation, they can extend it up to 3 years. So this is a consultant position, but locum, because you are not in the specialty register. Your name is on a register, means you are registered with license to practice. So because you worked as a consultant, you have long experience, you have very good CV, you have enough expertise and competence. So you applied for this position, they have shortlisted you, they have interviewed you, they thought, yes, Dr. X, Dr. Y, we are going to offer you to work with us as a consultant, but you are actually not an official consultant. Okay, number one. Number two, you will be given exactly same scale with official or regular consultant. Your salary and all the benefits, you will get everything as if you are a regular consultant. But unfortunately, they do not extend this forever. You will be here for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But once you work for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, getting another job as a locum consultant again is not at all a difficulty. You will be on demand because you are experienced in NHS for some time now. So they will offer you job. You will get offer maybe in the town next to your current place. Okay. So once you are here, it is not a problem. Question is, what is the future of this kind of position? I have a lot of friends, because for you as a senior person, if you want to see your name in the specialty register, you need to complete your Caesar pathway, or you have to apply for ST3 or ST4 at some point when you are here. So if you get your ST4 position, this is another 3 years to go, for 4 years to go, ST4, 5, 7, 6, 7. So you will become a regular consultant, or you can apply through your Caesar. For Caesar, you need to compile all your lifelong evidences. Okay, more important on the last 5 years evidence, where you worked, what is your teaching experience, what is your clinic experience, what is your governance experience, what kind of committees you work, what kind of guideline development you worked, what kind of relationship with your colleagues you had. So you have to accumulate a lot of evidence. I did that recently. I submitted about 1,500 pages relating to my career. Okay, so they will review that, and they will re-review, they will re-review, and they will go through quite a few steps before giving the final verdict. Okay, so I got my Caesar, and I'm now on the specialty register, and it took me about 9.5 months to get the final decision from GMC. Okay, and people say this is one of the shortest period of time to get the outcome from GMC. Normally it takes about 1.5 years to 2 years. Okay, so that is one of the thing. But I have seen other people who are working as locum, 2 years here and 2 years in another hospital, after 2 years another hospital, they continue like this. Okay, and at some point they get their British passport, they have good life, they don't bother of doing Caesar or becoming an official or permanent consultant. So they are majority. We people like me, we are actually minority, very small in number, to take this hard work, all the efforts to become a substantive consultant. I hope I answered to your questions, Deepika.
Sir, so what you showed that if you are in completed MRCPCH and GMC is must, without GMC we cannot go any job. It's not possible. But
Absolutely no.
yes, so if anyone get job after completing MRCPCH or whatever PLAB 2, so if it is the job, then it is not the training pathway. For example, started their job as a specialty training, specialty job, I mean as a fellowship.
Can we mute everyone, please? I think can I mute this? No.
No, now I
Okay.
become
Yes, You
Road
can
there.
take
So
a look. Yeah.
yes, so everyone is very there. So what I said that if I got job or anyone get job and it is not the training pathway, it is as a job. I mean, they are not competing for the training pathway. So
No,
in that
no.
case, it will be count ST3, ST4 something.
Okay, I get your question. Morshida, your question is very clear to me, very important question. So when you come to the UK, you will be offered either clinical fellow or a specialty doctor position. So you will be working, you will be gathering experience of working here, but this will not be counted as your ST for your ST3, ST4 or whatever. But once you are here, you will be working, and then you will assess yourself that yes, now I think I'm in a position to apply for ST4. Okay, so if you apply, you cannot apply for ST5, by the way. You cannot apply for ST6, or it has to be either ST3 or ST4 only if you want to go take that training route. Okay, so once you are selected for ST3 and ST4, you will be considered like any other local trainee doctor. But if you worked here for 2 years before or 1 year before with NHS already, that will actually help you to prepare for the interview process, for the selection process, but it will not be counted as anything. Okay, even if you if you work here for 5 years, say 6 years, and you have to apply for only ST3 and ST4. Even 1 year after, you may think, okay, now I can apply, I have got some experience, now I understand how NHS works, now I can apply for ST3, ST4.
So I know some of our colleagues trying to get training pathway, even not having any NHS experience.
Right.
So is it possible?
Of course possible, but theoretically possible, but practically it will be nearly impossible, because they have got so many local candidates. They will not reject you from the long listing, but they will really be very careful while they shortlist, and they will be very careful while they interview. Okay, theoretically yes, but practically it is very, very difficult.
Okay, so there were some questions. Can I take
Yeah,
some questions?
of
So
course.
Dr. Osdin saying, can I apply without JMG registration as a locum if I have a lot of experience as a physician, very good CV.
Yeah,
CV is very difficult pathway.
I think I answered to this question.
Yes, already it is done.
Regardless how many years you are experienced in, regardless of your skills level, they go by their criteria. So they will not break your criteria for you. Okay, you have to be registered with GMC, otherwise no one can offer you any job.
Yes. So another question was, Dr.
Sorry,
Afsana said,
one more thing. If you completed MRCPCH, then OET or English language proficiency is not going to be a problem for you. You just go for it, just prepare for a couple of weeks, you should get it.
so Dr. Afsana said that, sir, is it possible to do fellowship hands-on training? I mean, she on the subspecialty.
Of course, there
After
is.
MRCPCH.
Yes, so after MRCPCH, you have to again complete your English language test. You apply for GMC registration, you get it, and then you apply for clinical fellow positions. Okay, and there are a lot of clinical fellow positions advertised in track job, NHS job. Okay, so you can apply whatever position is suitable, you think you are eligible of, you can definitely apply, no problem. It's again the same process. They will long list, they will shortlist, and then finally they will invite you for interview. So clinical fellowship is actually not quite considered as a proper pure training position. Training here is basically specialty training, ST1, ST2, ST3 up to ST7, ST8. Clinical fellow, you will come. It's a good gateway to enter the NHS. You can work with NHS. But you will train yourself. We all help to train, but it's not actually a training position, but I have seen people are coming here to have some, they are well placed in their home country. They come here as a clinical fellow, work for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, have some good, exposure. They go back just to fine tune their skills and enhance their skills and experience. Okay.
Yes. So possible, but OET must after MRCPCH.
OET or IELTS.
Yes. 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 So another from ST4 to ST7 time. What could be the time? Bubble timing ST4 to ST7. 3
ST4
years.
is 1 year, ST5 is 1 year, ST6 is
Okay.
1 year, all 1 year.
Everything one year.
Yes, yes. And there is no real exam. So once you are selected in for ST1 or you are selected for ST3, ST4, every year you will proceed to the next year. Of course, you have to maintain your e-portfolio. You have to enter all your procedural skills, your academic achievements. There are, of course, there are plenty of things to do, but there is no proper exam. Okay, so consultant has to recommend you positively to proceed for the next year. You will be sleeping at home and you will say 1 year gone, I am now ST5. No, it's not like that. Just for example.
Yes. So another question, but I'm just want to some modification. So what is the role of research? Dr. Aisha said role of research in gaining job, but you can tell us that other than research, if anything, also if we can do in our home country to get the job, to enrich our CV.
To enrich your CV, a lot of things you can do. The research may not be very mandatory to get a job here, but they put much more weight on audit and QI projects. So if you do at least 2 audit and quality improvement projects, that will be very, very helpful. Number 1. Number 2, you can write a few of these case-based discussions, important, interesting case discussions. Number 2. Number 3, if you had any leadership experience in anywhere, clinical, non-clinical, medical, non-medical, no problem. Number 3. Number 4, if you have any outpatient department experience, if you can evidence some of them, like clinic experience, like you can write some clinic letters, that will be very, very helpful. And those will be, and of course, any post-graduation back home, MD, FCPS, those are not directly recognized, but that will automatically prove that you have done some training and you have been qualified as a postgraduate doctor back home. Okay, so these things will be very, very helpful. And any presentations you made anywhere, local, national, international, okay, those will be helpful.
So another question, Dr. Akidhar said, what is the working hour per week in ST3, ST4 position, or what would be the working hour?
Working hour in NHS is a uniform for everyone. We call it PA. 10 PA, 1 PA is 4 hours, 10 PA is 40 hours. So typical job is for 40 hours a week. But if you are working more than that, you will get paid for that. But with payment also, it is not expected to work for more than 48 hours. Suppose they have given you 40 hours in the job description, but you discovered that you are working for 44 hours a week, then you will get extra money for that. But definitely not more than 48 hours a week.
Thank you. So what is the difference between senior clinical fellow and locally employed doctor? Dr. Muhammad Imran said.
So locally employed doctors and senior clinical fellow, these all are basically different names of same thing. Okay, so locally employed means the hospital is employing you. Senior clinical fellow, also the trust is employing you. Same trust can have 2-3 hospitals. The trust will employ and they will select you for this particular hospital. Locally employed, very, very similar to that. Usually the hospital itself, they employ the doctor for that, for a particular unit, and there will be some conditions, kind of fixed term thing. Okay, 2 years, 1 year, 3 years, 6 months even. It's like that. And in terms of grade, so money, whatever they quote in the job description, you will definitely get that. But which line of doctor you are you going to be a first line doctor, second line doctor, third line doctor? Most of the time, if you are not coming as a locum consultant, most of the time you will actually start in the junior rota, okay, first line, even though you are getting high salary, but you need to prove that you have enough efficiency, enough skills to run the team as a middle grade doctor. So they will put you in the junior grade rota. But if you prove yourself very quickly, in a month or two, you will be promoted to the middle grade. But I have seen people are still doing junior grade rota even after 2 years, even though getting salary very close to consultant. Okay, and after 2 years they will not extend because you are not doing good, because you are getting so much money, but you are working in the junior rota. So it is your responsibility to show your expertise, skills, and your gesture that you really want to get promoted to the middle grade.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
you have to play yourself, not anyone else. You will dictate others that no, I am eligible for a better, work atmosphere or work position. I hope I answered the question. Ask supplementary questions if you have any. I can see quite a few chats in my here. Oh, there are so many messages, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
are you reading from there?
Yes, I'm just reading from here, and
Okay.
some I answered. So, sir, there is one question also related to the Australian pathway. Is there any scope? So after UK, then Australia is, or any?
So what I heard from PLAB 1 and PLAB 2 route, if you come here, you need to work for at least 6 months to get work opportunity in Australia directly. For the people who completed MRCPCH and English language test, once you are GMC registered, I think, not very sure, I need to double check this piece of information. Probably you need to work in the UK for some period of time, then you can move to Australia. Now, how much time, that I'm not sure of. I have to check it. I never explored opportunities in Australia.
So, what is the chance of getting MTI route, subspecialty?
MTI is not something I personally target because it is a very limited opportunity. Very few hospitals offer this. And also this is very, very conditional visa, very protocolized visa, and also work style. There is of course a possibility, few hospitals they offer quite a few positions, but I have seen in general Indian doctors coming in more number than any other countries. I am not aware if someone is coming from Bangladesh or any other countries through MTI route, but it is possible. It is possible. Number is definitely less than the other opportunities. Recently, one doctor came from Bangladesh. Actually, he is FCPS and MD, FCPS medicine, MD cardiology, but he was working in the Middle East before coming through MTI.
Okay. So I answered took questions from from the chat. So if anyone having I missed, but
Yeah.
queries there, can you please again write, or you can open your mic and then ask?
Yeah, you can open your mic. You can turn on your camera as well. Why not? I'm happy to see you all who are here in the meeting.
Yes, doctor. My name is Hala, and I am based here in the UK. I would like to ask about what's the difference between GMC and the registration with license to practice?
Hala is an Egyptian name. Are you from Egypt?
No, no, no. I am from Libya.
Libya. Okay.
Yeah.
So your question is, what is the difference between registration and license to practice?
Yeah. GMC
And the other
registration
one?
and the registration with license to practice. Is it the same thing or they are different?
Yeah, good point. So there is another option. I did not mention this. So registration is, you will get registered only. For that, requirement is same. But if you are not planning to come to UK anytime soon, then you don't need license to practice, right? So, and for getting registration and license to practice, requirement is same, but you have to pay more. Okay.
No, no,
And
I
then
am here. I am here in the UK. I am
no,
in the
I'm
UK.
telling you, I'm coming to that. So if
Yeah.
you have got registration only, you are registered with GMC, but you can anytime apply for license to practice also. And if you are only registered, you are not allowed to work. Is this clear to you?
Not really. I don't understand.
Registration and license to practice means you are ready to work. GMC
Okay.
registration means you are registered, but you are not yet allowed to work.
Oh, okay, okay. So once you get the job, you need to register with the
Exactly.
license. Okay,
I
okay,
know
I got
one
it.
person, I know one
Mm-mm.
person who came here in the
Mm-hmm.
UK. He was not aware that he does not have a license to practice, but he had GMC registration. So he
Okay.
came, and then hospital, before the date of joining, or maybe few days before, they said, can you please share your registration number? He shared, and he said, you are not allowed to practice. Then he
Okay.
contacted GMC. GMC said, you never applied for license to practice, so you have to apply, and then
Okay.
you will pay the money. It will take another 3 to 4 weeks. So he has to actually only sit at home for 3-4 weeks before things got sorted out.
Yes, yes,
Is
brilliant. Yeah,
this
I got
clear?
it. Thank you so much. Yeah,
No
another
problem.
question, please, and
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
If someone has like it's someone asked this question before, but related to myself, I did my
yeah,
PhD in diabetes research here in the UK.
yeah.
And with MRCPCH, what
Mhm.
kind of jobs I could apply for subspecialty? Like, for instance, I'm interested in diabetes. How can I find like a shortcut to get to diabetes without going to the training
Unfortunately,
pathway?
I got
Yeah.
your point.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there is no shortcut. PhD degree in our countries is considered a big, very big thing. Here also it is big, but unfortunately not quite big in medical profession. I have one senior staff nurse who is a PhD. Okay, from a very good university in the UK, from in my current unit. Okay, so
Okay.
if you have done your PhD, that will add some points if you apply for ST3 ST4 at some point. There is a question that, have you done any research degree like PhD or MPhil? In that case, you will get some extra scores. Number one. Number two, if you have done your MRCPCH and PhD for your job, you will get little bit advantage when they shortlist. Okay. Number two. Number three, there are some positions available called research fellow. So research, if you see any research fellow positions, you will obviously get priority for those positions. But for that also, again, if it is in the clinical field, you will need GMC registration as well.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
There is, some questions related to the Middle East. Is
Yeah.
GMC registration also required for job opportunities in other countries like Middle East?
I am very doubtful about that. But if someone has got GMC specialty registration, I mean, as a consultant registered, then that will automatically work for most of the Gulf countries. But normal GMC registration, like registration with license to practice, I don't think it's going to help for any sort of position. But of course, if you have your MRCPCH done, then most of these hospitals will offer you specialist position. You don't need GMC. You can apply for their local registration like Abu Dhabi license, Dubai license, Qatar, and then all those countries, Bahrain license. You can apply for that, but you probably will need to write the licensing exam test.
Yes. So every country having own licensing process, each and
Yes.
every country, even it
Each
is
and
applicable for the Middle East. So
Mhm.
you have to
Exactly.
sort out for the
But
process.
once you are consultant in the UK, they
Mhm.
will take you consultant directly as a consultant. They will offer you position as a consultant directly. You don't need anything else. But then they will complete the local registration process. It is just a formalities.
Mhm. So is MRCPCH and MRCPI, that is for Ireland,
Yeah.
it would be equivalent?
Because I worked with quite a few Irish colleagues somewhere in the Middle East in Toronto. I have heard this is true. MRCPI and MRCPCH are taken as equivalent degree for GMC registration.
Okay, that's nice. So I hope I covered all the questions, and but after then I have another
Yeah,
topics. Actually, it's not
yeah.
our licensing process or NHS. How you are enjoying your time in the NHS hospital, because you have experienced in the Bangladesh and Middle East as well. So how you grade it, your lifestyle or working
Well,
experience?
my experience may not be helpful for others, right? So it may not be an example for everyone. I'm
Yeah.
slightly different. I worked in different types of environment, different types of people, diverse group of population. So I'm a person who always work hard and try to adjust as quickly as possible. I mean, I believe the way I talk, you should understand. You understand how I'm enjoying working with NHS. It is a very stressful job. Being a concern in these countries, the more senior you are, the more responsible you are, and the more hands-on you are. Okay. Even last night, I had to intubate a baby who was born at 30 weeks, 1.029 kilogram. Okay, so surfactant, juniors were there, they are helping, but I thought as a consultant, better I do think most of the things. Okay, so more hands-on, more stressful, but being a clinician, you need to enjoy the working in a stressful circumstances. So I'm totally fine. But that may not apply for everyone. I have seen there is some dropout also. People are coming with a big hope, a lot of enthusiasm, but they're leaving the country in 3-4 months time because they could not adjust. Okay, so it that is the other extreme. There are some people who enjoy, to some extent, not quite happy with many things, but it's overall how you look into it. How do you see at the situation? So see towards the situation. So every individual is unique, right? Personally, I'm enjoying. I have no problem at all. I always, try to improve myself. I was in a very good position back home. I was in extremely good position in the Middle East, but I sacrificed everything to come to UK. Now I cannot say I'm not enjoying. I'm enjoying. I'm very good. No problem at all.
Okay, so silly question, but what about weather? Are you enjoying their weather? Cool.
Yes, so I was in Scotland until recently. My first job was in the northern corner of Scotland, Aberdeen, where the lowest temperature even few weeks ago was -17, -18. I was there last year. And here, my current town in Bournemouth, south of England, is much warmer. But there is now temperature is, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees. So and I was in the Middle East where the temperature sometimes went up to 45, 46 degrees also, right? So it's all about your personal adjustment. It's no problem at all. You are staying at home, which is warm. You are going outside with all preparation with winter clothes, winter dresses. It's not going to affect you. You just need to be careful. It's not a problem.
So, yeah, so I think all of here enjoyed this session. But yes, before that, one question is there. That
Hmm.
is it possible to survive with income? So I just want to add here with one person's income with the family. So if it is after, I mean, as a
Thanks.
ST3 or 4 level doctor, um,
I mean, you may not be very lavish. You may not be very, open-handed. You need to be careful. Then, if you are like ST3, ST4 position, middle grade doctor, you should be enough to maintain when you sustain your life. You may not have luxury of saving a lot of money. What we have from the developing world, we have a common tendency of saving some money at the end of the month, every month, right? But here you need to compromise that characteristic. So otherwise it should be okay. Otherwise it should be fine, because normally the school and healthcare, these are free, right? So if like transportation, if you buy a car, if you drive yourself, then should be okay. It's not a big deal. People are surviving even less than that also, right? People are in different jobs, earning much less than we do. And one more thing, lesser the income, less is the proportion of tax also. So take home salary for consultant and middle grade doctor is not a big difference, by the way, because I'm getting more, I'm paying high percentage of tax, but that percentage is significantly lower for the people who are earning less than me. Okay, so this is another important thing. Eventually, the take-home salary is not a big difference, nearly similar, close to each other. They made
okay,
the system like this.
yes. So last questions from my side. That
Well,
is
you don't need to go up to I have another 15 minutes also, no problem. If you have
okay. Okay,
anyone,
that's
I can
that's
see one question from Dr. Aki. Please ask that to one person family. Okay. I think this is the question,
already
right?
answered.
Yeah.
Yes, answered.
And if you have got 4 members family, I would like to imagine that you have got 2 kids, yourself and your husband or wife or spouse. Then what is your spouse doing? He or she needs to work as well, right? They will definitely find out a job.
Maybe not want to work.
Eh?
He's like husband don't want to work. He want to now live comfortable in UK. So
Okay. Then I want to be that type of husband if I have that chance. Yeah, that will be very big advantage to be like that. But yeah, joking apart, I think if 2 persons are working, then life is definitely much better and comfortable. One person is still okay.
yeah. Um, so what I understand that you in the Bangladesh having 16 sorry, I forgot that how many years in Bangladesh.
I
um
worked in Bangladesh. Joined government job in 1999, and I left Bangladesh in 2015. So altogether, I
Long
think
time.
16 years. But officially, I retired in 2017.
Yeah, so long time, and then also work different country. But after then, middle of the time, you started MRCPCH.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is at that time how many actually your age? I don't want to ask it, but I want to say that is the age is a factor to achieve the success, or how you want to define the age, because you started this journey at the um, actually it was many of us having this concern that is it possible to work there, started this journey and work there in the UK. So with the age, because we are not young, we are thinking of ourselves that we are not young, so can it be possible to go there and work in the NHS with this advanced age? But yes, you are you can give us some hope.
I think it's a very good question. I can assume most of you are definitely younger to me, and many of you are much younger to me. There is no doubt about that.
Definitely.
I have started my NHS journey only 2 years ago, after my 50. Okay, so then I never consider age as a factor. I still run 10 miles a day. Okay. In the morning, I start my day with that. And you need to be strong mentally. I have seen people at the age of 30, they consider themselves like as if they are 75 years old. Okay, I become old, I cannot do anything anymore. Okay, so it's all about your mindset, how you look into it, how you consider yourself, your personal confidence, belief. Okay, you have to trust yourself. Age is not a factor. It's not a country where people will say, oh, you are 45 years old, you cannot work with us. No, it's not like that. As long as you are within workable age, you can definitely try out, but it all will depend on you, how young you think yourself. It's not by the number of age. Okay, you have to go by your mental strengths. Again, I'm telling, I'm giving you example for my case, but that may not apply for anyone. Every individual is unique, so you have to think yourself whether you are fit enough mentally or not.
Mhm. So mental,
Okay, officially it is not a problem.
yeah, that's very, very nice to see. Okay, another things, so I think here one of the question maybe I missed up, MRSA exam be used to enter into pediatrics training? Dr.
Say,
He asked,
can you repeat the question? Say again.
and the MSRA exam. I know it is the GP training exam, but he asked or she asked, I don't know, MSRA exam be used to enter into pediatric training. MS,
No,
this
I'm not
MRSA
aware of
exam
this
is the
MSRA.
GP training. Be consultant for the GP, as I know.
MSRA, no, I don't know. I know MRCGP. For GP, that the exam is MRCGP. I'm not aware of the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure of this GP stream, by the way, GP consultant. I don't know. I have quite a few friends who are working as GP for so long, but I'm not sure of these things.
Mhm.
Kaniz
So,
has asked a question. I don't know. Kaniz Fatima, is she from Bangladesh or from
yes,
other country? Okay.
yes.
So there is a question I can see. She is asking about FRCPCH. Okay. So FRCPCH is not a degree by exam. FRCPCH is a recognition from the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health for the consultants who are working as a substantive consultant, who are on the specialty register and working as a permanent consultant position. Okay, so I have become eligible for that. I will apply for this. So it's about just application for 5 minutes, and they will let you know in probably 2 weeks time. Okay, so this is one pathway. FRCPCH can be obtained by other people from other countries who have significant contribution to the department, to the discipline as a pediatrics. Suppose being senior professor, he did a lot of researches, he had plenty of publications, he had contributed a lot in the medical education. Okay, he has very rich CV, but he does not have MRCPCH. He has done his local post-graduation degree, so he can apply for FRCPCH with all his life story, with evidence, and they will send it to the board, selection or election board, and they will discuss in length, and they will finally give the decision whether this particular doctor is eligible for FRCPCH or not. So this is one is called FRCPCH by registration, and the other one is FRCPCH by election. Okay, so people who are working in the UK as a consultant, they can get it by registration, and people who are from the outside, they can apply it to get it by election. There are two pathways. But the outside ones, it is not considered for any job here in the UK. It is just an ornamental. I know few of the Bangladeshi doctors, they were awarded FRCPCH. It is just nice to enrich your practice or your letterhead, nothing else.
So, how many years needed after working as a consultant in NHS for FRCPCH?
Whenever you start as a substantive consultant, you can apply for it right away.
Hmm. So, Caesar pathway was difficult in the 1 year you needed. Yeah. So, but
I
during
needed 1 year to prepare, and I needed to wait for another nearly 10 months to get the outcome.
Yeah. So, any other question?
I think, Kaniz, I have responded to your question already. How many years needed after working as consultant in NHS for FRCPCH? You know what? One thing here, in the UK, as long as you are in the UK, people do not even bother what kind of abbreviations you have to your name. MRCPCH, FRCPCH, MD, PhD, absolutely doesn't matter at all. I have seen people are working as a consultant, substantive consultant for many years. They don't even apply for FRCPCH because you have to pay extra money to the Royal College yearly. Okay, it is quite expensive country already. You are paying a lot of tax. You want to save your money rather than paying to Royal College for nothing, because in our work, there is not even a single signboard. We are 6 consultants sitting in the same room. Just one small plate is there, the consultant's room. That's all. We don't have our names also. Okay, but being from a developing world, we always like to get that, right? So for CPCH, once you are working as a substantive consultant, you can apply in the next month. No problem.
Yes. So, anything we can do in our home country to, get a job, as you said already, that some audit and something, but like, so any procedure we should learn before we reached here?
Yes. So before coming to the UK, first thing I think you need to familiarize with the British type of English. You may not need to speak like a British, but you need to understand, because I've seen people struggle to understand what they speak, what they are trying to say, what they mean. So if you can listen the BBC or Sky News, these will be very, very helpful for you. Number one. Number two, you can talk more and more in English at your workplace with your colleagues or students, whoever you have. You can speak in English, and you encourage speaking English, because we read in English. Our medical study is complete in English, but unfortunately, we do not practice English language much at our place. But I remember in my workplace in BSMMU, I used to speak in English while my clinical rounds and any other clinical sessions. I used to, force my students and residents also to practice English. You may not need to come to outside the country, right? But having a language skill is always a special feature, special qualification. So why don't you practice English if you have opportunity? Number two. Number three, try to be hands-on. Don't just say, okay, give IV cannula, this one, IV fluid, start IV fluid. Whatever the procedures are common procedures. See, you are a big doctor, you have plenty of experience, but people are asking you to try a difficult IV cannulation. You cannot do that. So you are not going to be a very useful team member in the UK. They will not appreciate much your depth of extent of knowledge, but they will appreciate if you can help them in crisis. Okay, so procedure wise, if you can you can be hands-on, that will be very, very helpful. And of course, in your respective field, if you have hands-on skills, that will be extremely useful, especially nowadays ultrasound, point of care ultrasound in your specialty, like if you're a gastroenterologist, if you're doing endoscopy, taking biopsy, those things, like any hands-on procedure will be highly appreciated, and they will add extra points, no doubt about that, and application will be stronger. I have seen a question, audit or research said already. I think we have answered. research versus publication, because when applying on track, they ask about research and publication separately. Yes. So research may not be published always. What kind of research you have done? So you may not have published that. So if you have published one, it should go into the publication. But if you did research but it was not published, you can still mention that. Okay. So these two are separate. In case if you have done a research but not published, so that you can still, otherwise you have completed research but not published, then you will miss that opportunity, right? So they kept this opportunity open for you. How to tell its evidence? Though it is, you are a medical professional, right? You are trustworthy. So they will hardly even check the even publication also. They will not go to that, Google Scholar to find whether you have entered your publication list. They will check that. It doesn't happen. So they will trust you. You're a medical graduate. You are highly educated personnel. So you cannot put any information which is incorrect or ungrounded.
So any graduation degree could be helpful to get a job?
Sorry?
Any post-graduation degree can be more helpful for example,
yes, that will help in shortlisting. But in the interview, when they talk to you, they will easily understand, yes, Morshida has got good amount of experience. I think she is ahead of the other candidates for this position. She is working in pediatrics for so many years. When we talk to her, it is very, very evident, very obvious. Who doesn't want a more experienced doctor? You know what I mean? So if
yes,
you just completed MRCPCH, but you are working in pediatrics only 1 year, and someone else worked for 5 years. Okay, so definitely more experience will get more scores. It may not help you directly, but it will help you. Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have no clear idea about a PhD. By the way, I think Osden asked how to do PhD without paying money. So many of the PhD courses, they offer a scholarship. So you can try in that particular university website, okay, if it is funded course or not. Most of the people from the developing countries, they come here on funded PhD course. Unfunded, coming to this country is not the brightest idea. Okay, because it is a very expensive country. If you have to be on your own costs, life will be miserable. Even by earning money, life is not that easy. How do you survive without earning anything? Okay, and if you have to pay to the university, it's not possible. So I would strongly recommend you to negotiate with that university, particular professor, mentor, to contact whether it is funded or not, scholarship available or not. Okay, so this is very, very important. I have a few friends who are here, and some of the PhD candidates, they come on their own home country scholarship. So their university pays for them, and they come here, they do PhD, and they do some part-time job, earn some money, for their own expenditure.
Yes.
Pediatric
emergency. Yes, sir. Continue. Please.
Yeah, pediatric emergency experience. Of course, if you are looking for pediatric emergency position, that will be helpful. That will be helpful for your pediatric job also. So pediatric emergency can be fit with many of the disciplines. Having experience will never be, outscored. Okay, it will always be valued.
Mm-hmm. So job search, is it like the track? I know, but other Dr. Rehman said is how can I search from LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is the ideal site for jobs.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
I don't think so. I don't think LinkedIn could be very, very helpful. I know professionals have got their account in LinkedIn. I don't personally, but I mean, maybe you get some, but for finding job, you have to register your name with track job, and you search your job every day. You will see plenty of job advertisements all the time, other than the weekends. It is always getting updated. Track job, NHS jobs, even NHS Scotland, you can check.
Yeah.
If you register your name and you put your interests, I think you will get emails also regularly from track job. These are the suitable positions available matching to your CV. I'm getting that all the time. I get consultant neonatologist positions. Wherever there is a vacancy, I get email alert always.
Yeah.
Pediatric emergency experience, Aisha wanted me to repeat. So if what is the question actually? Pediatric emergency experience, what did you mean by that? Are you experienced in pediatric emergency? If so, then of course it will be helpful for getting a pediatric emergency job. It will be helpful for your pediatric job, and you will be in a better position to apply many questions related to pediatric case scenario, emergency case scenario. Okay, I don't know if this is your question. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the question directly, Aisha, if you want to. No problem.
Sir, I'm Dr. Aisha. I want to ask, like, does the UK or NHS prefers pediatric emergency?
Your sound is very, very feeble.
Okay,
Please raise your voice.
okay. I want to ask if like NHS prefers pediatric emergency experience from like us. We are from developing countries. I'm from Pakistan. So do they
Mhm.
prefer experience, or they were just like that doesn't make any importance to the CV?
Already answered.
You are working in pediatric emergency.
Yes, sir.
I think that will be very helpful. Very, very helpful to get a job in general pediatrics and pediatric emergency positions. I've got a Pakistani clinical fellow in my unit. She completed her FCPS back home, and she did her MRCPCH part 2, but she completed PLAB 2 also, and she came through PLAB route. She's working as a clinical fellow in my unit, neonatology unit.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
No problem.
Yeah. So neonatology is I think it is the most hype subspecialty, and as well as they are get highest salary among all the subspecialty.
No. It's not like that. All the disciplines have got similar payroll, same pay structure.
Okay. But job opportunity for the neonatology is more, or those who have
I
more
don't know.
experience.
I don't know. I'm not sure of that. I can see people are coming. I think this week there is a doctor coming from Bangladesh in pediatrics.
Yeah.
Her name is Sadia. Worked in
Yes, I
Square
know.
Hospital.
Yes.
Know her, right? Yeah.
Yes, from Square. Yeah.
Yeah.
So same hospital, you and Prasad in the same hospital.
No. Minimum 300 kilometers from me,
Oh,
maybe more.
yeah, understand. Okay, sir. I think we took a lot of time from you, and you answered everyone's question, and all the doubt is cleared for me, I can say. And it's a really a great opportunity to get you in this platform. It was my dream, and you were always behind me, always helped me. That is really I am appreciated, and I'm grateful for that reason.
No
So
problem at all. This is my responsibility to pay back to my people who I worked with in the past, my students, colleagues. This is very nice, and of course nice to see some other people as well from other countries. It was nice to see someone from Libya. She's in the UK, she said, and then probably other nationalities as well. It was wonderful. There is one quick question. I would like to answer to that. How can I do audit or ALS training from home country? So ALS training in the home country, you need to explore whether it is offered in your country or not. For pediatrics, you need actually APLS, Advanced Pediatric Life Support, or PULSE, Pediatric Advanced Life Support. PULSE is UK, APLS is from America, and EPLS is European Pediatric Life Support. You need to do any of these, any one. For pediatrics, you don't need ALS. And also audit training. So audit actually does not need a particular training, but there are plenty of videos, lectures available in the YouTube. And or if you Google, you can find a lot of evidences. I think it will be not difficult for you to find things and get some idea about audit. And the best way is learning by doing. You can check with your professor or senior colleagues. They can help you to conduct an, or if you conduct an audit, you will automatically be learning. Okay, so that's the best way to learn about audit and quality improvement projects. So for audit, we normally say you have to find a worthwhile topic, and then you have to find out what is standard going on outside in standard recommendation. Then see what is going on in your unit. You find out data and do some data analysis and statistical analysis, and then you make some recommendations and recommendation for changes, and then you come back in few weeks or few months or maybe a year to come back and see your recommendation is working or not, if there is any positive changes or not. So this is a very simple structured approach in audit. But if any professor into the research, you can speak and they can be they should be able to help you. Okay, but this is very, very important for getting a job in with NHS. Yes, I can see Wali. Thank you very much. Everyone is thanking a lot. Yeah, I am overwhelmed already. I can see Afruza Islam Shuma. Okay, wonderful session. Thank you. Deepika, thank you very much. And a lot of other names. Rahman, I think we asked your question. Morsheda again. Rahman, do we need to complete an audit cycle? Yes, yes. It is best to complete audit cycle, including re-audit. Okay. I think we had a chance to speak to Aisha, Apsana. Thanks only, no question. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, I think we have gone through. Someone asked for my email. I will share my work email here for you all. Whoever wants to ask me a question, I will. What is this? UHD, sorry. Moshada, I am putting my email ID for any question. You can direct the question to me, no problem. It's in the chat box. You can find my email ID. Okay, this is my work email. I don't check on the weekends. I will check this only on the weekdays. Okay, I think that's all. Who else? Imran asked question. Deepika asked question. Osden, where are you from? Osden, your name suggests, are you from any of the African countries? Happy Romana. Thank you, sir. Nice to see you. Thank you. Sorry?
Dr. Osden is from Turkey.
Turkey. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, you have very good connectivity. So many countries. Excellent. Okay. Kanis said, you are my supervisor in neonatology department 2014. Now gastroenterologist and MRCPCH journey in clinical part. All the best, Kanis. I cannot recognize very well, but nice to know that you are in the MRCPCH journey. I'm sure Moshada can help you to complete the journey. Wish you all the best. Okay, excellent. If you have anything else before we finish, Moshida, or any of the candidates wants to say something, I know they texted actually. They may not have anything to say, but feel free to speak out if you have anything in your mind. Apparently nothing. That's good. Moshida,
Yes, sir.
can we
So
finish?
yes, we can wrap up.
Do you have something else to talk? I know you had some agenda, but I think I took a lot of time.
No, I just check it up. All the agenda is completed.
Okay, sure. Okay, it was wonderful to be a part of this session. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to help. I wish you all the best for your journey and hope to see you in the UK at some point. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Moshida, for everything.
So I'm just closing the session.
Yeah.
Okay.